So I don't have to explain to you about the recent controversy revolving around Mr. Beast's best friend, Chris Tyson. For those of you who are in the loop, Chris Tyson has been a part and been with Mr. Beast since the beginning, and has built a huge audience around him and has become one of the most notable figures in the Mr. Beast crew. However, throughout time, Chris Tyson would slowly start to transition to more feminine behavior, and would ultimately come out as transgender. Now you may be wondering what is the issue here, as people who come out as trans nowadays is kind of the normal now. Well, there really shouldn't have been an issue here. When Chris Tyson came out as trans, a whole wave of people would all take this super personally and would absolutely shit on Chris because of his decision. This has had a lot of people making all different kinds of assumptions how Mr. Beast feels about this decision, even though he has publicly stated how he hates how people react in this way. This is an entire controversy that really shouldn't have been reached this far, and it just shows how many people care this much and feel this devastated about an influencer making their own decision. So in this video, I want to go over all the controversy, to the public response, and as well as Sunny V2's video about it. So without further ado, subscribe, drop a like, and let's get into the video. So like we already said, Chris Tyson has always been one of the most notable people featured in Mr. Beast's videos, and many people have always loved him. And I guess you could say this entire drama all started back off in 2020. In late 2020, Chris was going to announce to his fans that he was coming out as bisexual. Also trying to mention that he tried to come out as bisexual at 16, but got a lot of backlash from people. And this did catch some people off guard, but for the most part, he was flooded by support by his loyal fan base, as they were just happy to see him happy. And in that same Twitter thread, Chris ended off by saying, "Someday I'd like to go into more detail about more of this, but I'm still very private about it due to things that happen when I try to come out. I just don't want to be silent about it anymore." And this will be the beginning of the changes that Chris's fans would start to take into account. Along this time, many of Chris's fans started to wonder if him and his wife were still together, since before they used to always post pictures of them and their kid together. And to make it even more apparent, people would start to realize that he stopped wearing his wedding ring, substituted that with different colored nails. And just a few months later, he would go on and clear up the rumors about his marriage. For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated. We are finalizing things soon, but these things take time. We need to keep our personal lives private, which a lot of people don't understand because we share too much. But this is the only time I want to discuss it. Please respect our privacy, and please do not comment asking questions about this specific topic on our socials about this from here on. Thank you so much, love you all. And from here, fans will only start to see more and more changes. People will start to see that he started to curl his hair more, and he would start to make more tweets revolving around the LGBT community. And people will notice this and call this the Carl effect. Then on April 4th, a Twitter user by the name of Blake would make a comparison tweet showing what Chris used to look like versus what he looks like now. And under this tweet, there would be a lot of comments basically making fun of Chris. Mr. Beast then showed him the Beast. It is heartbreaking to see so many young people feel compelled to change themselves and their gender. Learning to accept our natural self is extremely difficult, but loving ourselves for who we are is the path of happiness. But Chris himself would go on to make a quote tweet saying, "HRT and it's only been 2 months. Which HRT means hormone replacement therapy, which basically means in trying to feminize the body by taking different kinds of hormone estrogens. Meaning that Chris has most likely been taking that for 2 months. And a lot of people in his reply section would all be very supportive of him, and Chris would want to make a follow-up tweet saying how he was glad that people were starting to figure out what HRT means. But there were of course people who didn't like Chris's transition. For starters, people don't like the fact that Chris as a kid won't have a father figure in his life anymore. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, weak man times. And Chris would respond to this tweet by saying, "This is just more dog wish and that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Target begs for me to come back when I leave for like a 2-day film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate. It's taught by people like you. My child will only know love." And from here, people all start coming up with their own theories now, but the most popular one that Mr. Beast is uncomfortable with Chris being trans now, which is just stupid. Honestly, it's never other people's business to be involved into someone's personal life like that, but that's not how other people feel. Now this part was quite difficult to make, because I like Sunny V2 and don't think he intended this video to be the way it did. On April 13th, 2023, Sunny V2 posted a video called "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for Mr. Beast," where in the video he goes over why Chris going trans would be a detriment for the Mr. Beast channel. His main reason for why this is bad is because now Mr. Beast can't speak about Chris going trans and has to not act like everything is cool, which isn't true. Mr. Beast and Chris have literally been best buddies since high school. And what else we can say is a problem in the video is the extreme bias. Watching the video, it just feels like the point Sunny is is making is his own personal opinions, since for one of his reasons, he literally stated that Chris only being a part of the LGBT community for the sake of relatability.
And if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video.
Which is probably one of the worst reasons to use. Chris isn't a movie character, he's a real person who wants to do what he wants to do. And the video is just very odd from all of other Sonny's videos. And it just feels like he didn't like the situation and tried to give his own take about it, but it's not in the right way. And it wouldn't be long for this video to receive a ton of backlash. Sonny V2 would get absolutely obliterated on Twitter for his quote-unquote transphobic statements. A random Twitter user would go on to tweet out, "This new Sonny V2 video feels very invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delve into the man's marriage and shit. It's just really off-putting and unnecessary." And right under that tweet, Mr. Beast would reply with, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my fucking friend and things are fine. All the transphobia is starting to piss me off." Which clearly showed that Mr. Beast wasn't uncomfortable, not like he said that in the slightest. But this will be the beginning for Sonny V2, because in the span of 24 hours, several videos started coming up about how Sonny V2 was being insensitive and being a dick. The YouTuber Akawas will go on to show a clip of Sonny V2 taking an out of context clip of Mr. Beast saying that drama is good for growth, trying to insinuate that he wanted all this unnecessary drama about Chris for growth,
which could be seen as a benefit for the Mr. Beast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
so you're
if
a
I got it.
I love how he takes that clip of Mr. Beast like out of context. Like, drama is great for growth. I mean, Mr. Beast never really plays into drama. To imply Chris is doing this for views and clout is insane.
And what's weird is under Akawas' video about Sonny V2, his video would be flooded by a bunch of dislikes and people saying that Sonny V2 wasn't doing anything wrong. Not saying that Sonny V2 was trying to come across as a dick, but assuming what people are thinking, claim that someone is only doing this for clout is just not it. And that's what everyone in this whole situation did. Everyone came to the assumption that Mr. Beast was being forced and to side with Chris being trans. I've never seen this much hate for someone coming out as trans people do exist, and people feel they need to take this as a personal attack on them. Obviously, the little minor jokes about the situation, like people saying on Mr. Beast show Chris the Beast, is funny, but the people who are making this their personality to try and hate on a multi-millionaire influencer because they're coming out as trans is fucking stupid. And it wasn't a surprise when Sonny V2 quickly began to bleed subscribers over the course of 24 hours. This is one of the most dog shit videos I've ever seen. Sonny's conclusion practically blames Chris for not taking the Mr. Beast brand into account before transitioning. Imagine showing such little regard for the welfare of human beings. Sonny V2 and Turkey Tom's entire business model is highlighting the worst out of humanity for no better reason than to farm hate clicks. It's genuinely sickening. Worst part is, sometimes they don't even try to hide their bias. Sonny's ninja video is a direct attack. It's real low. That Sonny V2 video about Chris being Mr. Beast's worst nightmare is a really shitty title for that type of video. Also going off about how Chris being the way he is, and how expressing it differently could mean something bad for Mr. Beast, this is straight up just gaslighting transphobia. And this will only cause more and more people to dig up more of Sonny V2's videos, and express how inhumane people claim his videos are. This definitely was one of Sonny V2's first major fuck-ups, and I do think he can learn from this and have a different view on this situation, as I don't think he deserved to get completely canceled off the internet, but people do definitely need to point out his flaws. But anyways, moving on. This situation just shows how many people are way too heavily invested in other people's lives for things, and how many people can just simply mind their own business. When I see things on my timeline of people doing things they want to, and it doesn't have anything to do with me or anyone, I just simply move on with my life and forget about it. But throughout this whole situation, people were feeling personally devastated and felt like they needed to be involved. And even having people make their own assumptions, and just flat out assuming what Mr. Beast was thinking and feeling at the time. Chris is Mr. Beast's best friend, and he's not just gonna stop being his closest friend because he thinks that won't work out for his business. Chris is Jimmy's best friend, and I'm sure Chris talked to Jimmy at the beginning of the transition to make sure Jimmy didn't think it would hurt his channel, and they both decided to move forward. Jimmy doesn't seem like the type of guy to judge other people's life decisions. But if you guys have any opinions about the situation, then leave in the comments. If you guys did enjoy this video, consider subscribing and drop a like if you want to. Go for my Twitter at Scorpion_1 and consider joining the Discord. But thank you for the support recently, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace out.